Hi, Nathan. Really good to see you.
Hey, Andy. It's great to be back with you virtually.
Indeed. Right. We're going to move on to another question, another 5 minutes, quick run through. This one, we're going to talk about superpowers.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
Go on. You lead off. Tell me what you think when you think superpower.
So I think superpower. So I work in a world where people who think differently, and quite often for some individuals, they're talked about how they think differently is talked about as superpowers. Now that's helpful in some ways, but it's not helpful in every way, because not everyone feels they've got a superpower. Because actually, I think your superpower is actually defined by your environment quite a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you're the fastest runner, but everything you do in your environment involves you sitting down, you're never going to get to use your superpower. But if you happen to be in a sprinting team, that's brilliant. You can show your superpower. And I see that again and again in environments, that actually the environment is what enables us to utilize our superpower. So that's what I'd say it is. I don't know if you had sort of different sort of feel on that one, Andy.
I really like the idea that we've all got one, but it's about finding your place to use that. So your community and the place that feels like it's a good fit. I think that's really important. I think one of the things that we're all conditioned by today is this kind of comparison element that there is across all the kind of walks of life, particularly through social media, and that's really unhelpful. And what someone will portray as being a superpower, how do you know whether that's real or whether it's just fake news, quite frankly? And I would say, probably quite a broad brush thing to say, but I bet 95 to 98% of that we see is just fiction.
Statistically corroborated, though, obviously.
Of course. Just a finger in the air, sort of thinking about it. I think we could all kind of identify a lot of that sort of stuff, and I guess that's also then that tarnishes the idea a little bit as well, because it's used and abused, shall we say.
And that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because this comes into, you get into masking as well here, don't you? What mask are you wearing? What superhero mask are you trying to wear that you don't really own? And I was just thinking back to some of those favorite films of ours, sort of from the past. I really love The Incredibles and stuff like that, but you've got this idea of someone trying to be, in some of those films, trying to be a superhero when they're not. Actually, that just drains them and exhausts them, because they can't be who they really are. And therefore can't be the superhero that they were arguably made to be, because they're too busy trying to pretend to be something they're not.
No, I think the kind of anti-superhero ones that there's been as well have been interesting. So there was Hancock, and then Deadpool, and that kind of shows the other element of like the pressure if you've got this gift. The reason that you've got to use it, sort of thing, and what comes with that. So it's a fascinating space.
There's a lot of baggage, and I actually reminded of another story I've been reading about kids recently called The Wizards of Once. So if any of you have children there, aged between probably about 5 and probably 15 or 20 even, it's a story written by Carissa McDowell, who wrote the How to Train Your Dragon series. But she's got a superhero in there that doesn't even know she's a superhero.
Oh wow!
In fact, she's a dyslexic superhero, and that comes out in the story as well, without spoiling it. But this idea that actually we hide from our superpowers, we really do sometimes, because we're embarrassed about them, because they don't feel conformist.
And yet we celebrate other ones through movies that are completely alien,
absolutely,
and have no connection to everyday life whatsoever. So I think we've got to be a bit more open and confident, which is really, it's a tricky balance, but equally, we've got to be listening and observing and actually kind of paying people compliments. When we see that they're really good at stuff, just those simple things of being nice and saying, "Wow, you're really good at that." I'm so impressed.
So on that note, Andy, thank you so much for being a fantastic conversation partner.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
And very seriously, if this is something that's hit a chord for you and there's something you'd like to explore around this area, maybe you'd like to come and join us on here, or you'd just like to send a message in the chat, and so we can explore it further, please get in contact.